Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today I'm gonna just talk about something real quick, parallel compression, and that's just something that a lot of producers and engineers like to use. Very easy to do. It sounds complicated, but it's not. And all it really is just taking one signal, splitting it off or sending it somewhere, so you have a copy of it, and that's just really squashed down. So you have your dry signal, which is unprocessed, then you have your wet signal, which is super compressed and processed, and then you blend them together. And usually that gives you a smoother sound. It gives you more punch. It creates a nice tone as well. Just keeps things balanced. This song I'm mixing at the moment, the kick drum just really isn't giving me enough punch, and I'll play that for you right now. It really just sounds like it's in the background, almost like a heartbeat, and that's cool. I mean, that's cool for a little sound, but it's not giving me what I want. I'm gonna parallel compress it so you guys can hear it more, so we'll push it through. And the way you do that is you go to your sends and you bus it somewhere, so you create an auxiliary track. So I'm gonna create one right here. It's already a stereo track for some reason. I'm just gonna leave it in stereo. I'm not gonna bother in putting it in mono. So I'm just gonna create a stereo one anyways, and it's gonna be kick PC for parallel compression. Now I'm gonna route that to my kicks bus. That's my auxiliary, which all my kicks go there, and that's just so when I bounce out stems I can just solo it and just send them off. And then you want to bring in a compressor, and it can be any compressor you want to use. My favorite one for drums is the DBX 160. The reason why I like the DBX 160 is because it's a fast compressor, but it's also very transparent. I'm gonna go here in my send, and I'm going to put it in pre-fader, so I have more control. If I bring the actual volume of the kick all the way down, you'll still hear it. If it wasn't in pre-fader, you don't hear nothing because there's no volume now. So that's why I'm putting in pre-fader, because like I said, it gives you more control over everything. And now let's just squash the heck out of it. I like to start off at 10:1 in my compression when I'm doing parallel compression, and then I set the threshold. And that's another cool thing about this one, is it has a set attack and release time. So all you have to do is set a threshold. And you pretty much just squash the heck out of it. As you can see, my gain reduction is already passing 10 dB, and then I'm just boosting up the output gain. So if I bring this all the way down, or for example, just mute it, you're just gonna hear the dry signal that's not compressed. And then when I unmute it, you'll hear it. So I'm gonna toggle it back and forth so you can hear the difference, where you'll hear that has more punch now. And it's just a really, really neat trick to do that. There is this weird clicking sound in this kick drum, and let's figure that out so we can fix it. And it might even just be the kick itself. Let's see if we can EQ that out. Let's get something that'll actually show the waveform. I think the H EQ does it. It shows the actual waveform. Yeah, it does. So it looks like something might jump up at the front there. So let's just roll that off. And there we go, so that's gone now, that little sound. But we did lose all of our mids, so let's see if we can somehow bring all those back. I'm just gonna do this high shuffle and see what happens. And let's hear that in context real quick, and then we'll adjust our settings. Actually sounds really good with it all 100%, both of them sitting on top of each other. I'm going to, let's see if we can just EQ this a little better, this kick drum, just because I want it to sound better. And I'm just gonna roll off a little low end, and that's because I'm gonna bring the bass up from these main keys some. I believe that's where the bass is. some of the mids down though from the kick drum. So just like that. So just a little parallel compression, low EQ, and I think the kick drum sounds a lot better. And let me show you with and without it. So here's without, and then I'll toggle everything in. And it just gives you a lot more punch, like I said, and that kick's really cutting through in the mix now. Now I just got to do my last little bit of adjustments, you know, a little more EQ on certain spots and just a little more compression that I feel I want, especially on the vocals. I think I want to re-attack those because I don't like what came out when it started playing, and we'll go from there. So all right, everyone, I know this isn't like the most interesting video in the world because it's parallel compression and there's probably 1,000 of them on there, but I just wanted to do it real quick so you guys can see how easy it is. It doesn't need to be complicated. It's really just sending a kick drum or snare drum or even a vocal. You can do it on anything somewhere and just compressing the heck out of it and then just blending it back in, which for me, everything just stood at 0. And last thing before I cut out, I should mention is a good reason why I send everything, the output, into an auxiliary track or an effects track is because now when I pull down this volume, my parallel compression actually is still going to be kicking really loud and it just loses the blend. So if I want to bring down all those kicks, I just actually come here and I can bring down the kicks like that and it keeps that blend. Everything stays together, but it lowers it all at once. It's always good to send your kicks off to an aux or a drum aux or something where everything goes to, and that just helps later on in the process, especially if you're bouncing or they go like, hey, your kicks are knocking too much, man, let's bring all those kicks down, or let's bring the kick down. Well, that's what you would do instead of going like, okay, I gotta bring, you know, 3 down here and then 3 down here. It's just, you know, too many steps, especially if you have more than just one kick. You can just bring it down here. Oops, wrong one. Bring it down here. And it just keeps your mix all tight and together. So as always, like, subscribe, share, drop me a comment below, give me a thumbs up, that'll be awesome. And I have a Patreon going now, so if you want to become a patron of mine and I can help you with mixes, I can help you with your sessions, I can help you with anything you need, even some guidance, go ahead and hit the link in the description below and become a patron of mine. As always, keep creating music.